The circus is coming.
Good morning. This is What's New, Portstown, Delaware's favorite radio talk show. I'm your host, John Barca. In the studio with me is Sandy Farnham, the daughter of famous circus owner T.P. Farnham. Sandy, the circus will be here in Portstown for 2 weeks. That's right, isn't it?
Yes, that's right, John. We open tomorrow for 2 weeks.
Has the circus arrived yet, Sandy?
No, not yet. It's on the road somewhere between New Jersey and here.
I suppose there's a lot to be done between now and the first show.
Yes, I've already been here for 3 days. There were all the advance arrangements to be made. It's like preparing for a small invasion, I guess you could say.
What do you mean?
Well, there are so many things to be done, you know. There are posters to be put up, newspaper ads to be arranged, local workers to be hired. It goes on and on.
When will the circus actually arrive?
In the next hour or two. The first truck should be arriving any minute now, and then the hard work really begins.
Most people love the circus, but not many realize how much work there is, do they?
That's right. We'll be working all day and most of the night. It's a lot like moving a small army, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. By tomorrow morning, everything will have been set up in time for the afternoon performance. But first, there's the big parade down Main Street at 11:30. Don't forget to come out and see us.
Thank you, Sandy, for coming in to talk to us. Now, don't forget, folks, the big circus parade will start from the pier at 11:30, go along Main Street past the high school, and end in Lincoln Park. Farnham Circus will be in town for 2 weeks, until August 28th. Now, for our next guest, we have a
Getting things done.
Tim, that bathroom faucet is still dripping. It's driving me crazy. I thought you said you were going to fix it.
Oh, yeah. The washer needs replacing.
Why don't you replace it then?
That's easier said than done. I think you'd better call a plumber and get it done. I'm not really sure how to do it. Sorry, Mom.
Mark and Tina are going on vacation next week. They're driving to Las Vegas. Mark always gives Tina a lift to work. He's dropping her off outside her office.
Tina, I won't be able to pick you up from work tonight. I'm having the car tuned up. I thought we'd better have it done before we go.
Good idea. When are you picking it up?
At 5:45. Why?
Well, I want to have my hair done before we leave. I'll try to make an appointment to get it done after work. Then you can pick me up at the hairdresser's.
Okay. Call me at work and let me know what time, okay?
All right. I'll call you later. Bye.
I'm afraid it hasn't been kept up very well. The man who lived here was in his 80s when he died a few months ago. His daughter doesn't want the place, so she's selling it.
It looks as though it needs a lot of work done on it.
True, but the price is very reasonable. It could be a great do-it-yourself project.
I'm not that good with my hands. We'd have to get most of the work done for us.
Oh, I don't know. Let's look at the inside.
Oh, sure. Let's go in through the kitchen door.
Phew! Look at that sink. It must have been there since the house was built.
The kitchen's big, though, and has plenty of light. We always wanted an eat-in kitchen. We'd have to have all new cabinets and major appliances. New stove, refrigerator, dishwasher.
Well, we'd have to start with having new plumbing installed. And we'd have to do something about this floor. I guess we could put down new tiles ourselves.
Yeah, you're right. Is that the only electrical outlet there?
I'm afraid it is.
It looks pretty old. I'm sure the whole place would need rewiring. We'd certainly have to have that done even before the plumbing. We would need a lot more outlets, too.
Would you like to see the rest of the house? The dining room and living room are through here.
Oh, wow. These walls. I guess we'd have to cover all the walls with plasterboard.
That's easier said than done. We'd have to get somebody to put up the plasterboard. Then we could do the painting. And of course the ceilings need painting. But we could do that too. What's the upstairs like?
More of the same. As you say, all the walls and ceilings need work. But look at these floors. They're beautiful, aren't they? Now, as you know, there's no bathroom.
Yes, I noticed the bathtub in the kitchen. What about the toilet?
In the little outhouse in back. Anyway, I was about to say that you could have the small bedroom upstairs converted into a bathroom.
More plumbing costs. But of course, we'd have to have it done. We couldn't live without indoor plumbing.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that has to be done?
Well, you'd have to get the roof repaired pretty soon.
The sooner the better, if you ask me. It looks like water has been coming in over there.
And we'd have to have a new oil burner put in, I guess. Plus, we'd have to have the windows weatherproof to keep the heat in during the winter. I bet it'll cost a fortune to heat this place.
Well, of course, you'd want to insulate before you have the plasterboard put on.
Yeah, I guess we could put in the insulation. So when it comes down to it, the only things we can do are put down the new tiles, put in the insulation, and paint the place.
Right, and I wonder how good a job we'd do even with that. Well, thanks for showing us around, but I think we'd be better off knocking it down and starting all over again.
Getting in shape.
Here are instructions for 2 fitness exercises. Warm-up exercise. Stand with feet apart and arms out at shoulder level. Bend forward, twisting the torso at the same time to touch the right hand to the left foot. Stand upright again with arms out. Then bend forward and twist, touching the left hand to the right foot. Repeat 10 times on each side the first day, gradually increasing to 20 repetitions on each side. Twisting sit-ups. Lie on your back with legs bent at the knees. You can put your feet under a chair or have someone hold your feet down. Place hands behind head. Raise your head and shoulders about 30 degrees, but keep your lower back on the floor or mat. Twist your torso at the same time to bring your right elbow over your left thigh. Then repeat, this time bringing your left elbow over your right thigh. Repeat 5 times on each side.
Don't panic.
Don't forget to fasten your seat belts. Please do not leave your seat while the seatbelt light is on. Please look at the monitors for information about safety procedures. For further information, please consult the card in the seat pocket in front of you. May we remind passengers that smoking is prohibited on this flight. Smoking in the lavatories or tampering with the smoke detectors is a federal offense.
Would you like to see the cockpit?
I'll bring you a blanket in a minute.
I'm afraid that we've run out of chicken dinners.
Here's the headset. Let me help you.
We're going through some turbulence. Please keep your seatbelts fastened. We're going to make an emergency landing. Follow instructions. Don't panic. Leave your things and proceed directly to the emergency exits.
Come on, you can make it. Just slide down the chute.
I'll have to push you.
Messages. Listening 1. Rosa Sampson is a secretary at Standard Security Systems. Her boss, Peter Daniels, was away on business on Monday. She took several messages for him. 9 o'clock.
Good morning, Peter Daniels' office.
Hi, Rosa. It's Judy. Could you give Peter a message, please? I won't be in until Friday. I have the flu. I saw the doctor this morning.
Okay, Judy. I'll give him the message. I hope you feel better soon.
11:40.
Good morning, Peter Daniels' office.
Hi, Rosa.
Hi, George. What can I do for you?
Peter isn't there, is he?
No, he won't be in until tomorrow.
Well, it's just that I need Wednesday off. You see, my grandmother died yesterday, and I'll have to go to the funeral.
Oh, I'm sorry. How old was she?
92.
3:20.
Peter Daniels' office. May I help you?
May I speak to Mr. Daniels, please?
I'm sorry. He's out of the office today. He'll be back tomorrow. May I take a message?
This is Joe Watkins calling. Please tell Peter that I can't make the meeting tomorrow afternoon. Something important's come up. I'll call him Wednesday morning.
It's Tuesday morning. Peter Daniels has just returned to the office. Look at the messages and listen to Rosa's report.
Good morning, Rosa. Could you come in for a minute, please?
Good morning, Peter. Did you have a good trip?
Yes, thanks. It went very well.
You had a few messages yesterday. Should I run through them?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Judy called. She said she wouldn't be in until Friday.
Oh? Why is that?
She said she had the flu.
Okay, what else?
George came in looking for you. He said he wanted tomorrow off.
Did he say why?
Yes, he told me his grandmother had died and he'd have to go to the funeral.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'd better talk to him later on.
Then Joe Watkins called. He said he couldn't make the meeting this afternoon, but would call you on Wednesday morning.
Chris Matthews' office.
I'd like to speak to Chris Matthews, please.
I'm sorry, she isn't in today. Would you like to leave a message?
Sure. I'm calling from Wilson Auto Sales. It's about a new car. It isn't ready yet. There was a mix-up at the factory.
10:30.
Good morning. Chris Matthews' office.
Good morning. This is John North from Janik International. May I speak to Ms. Matthews, please?
Ms. Matthews is out of the office today. Would you like to leave a message?
Just tell her I called. I'll be out of my office tomorrow, but I'll try to reach her from where I'll be.
Okay, Mr. North. And what company did you say you were from?
Janik International. That's Jannick International.
1:10.
Good afternoon, Chris Matthews' office.
Good afternoon. This is Ann Morey from Western Video Systems. Chris is at the trade show in Chicago, isn't she?
Yes, that's right. She should be here tomorrow.
Well, can you give her this message first thing in the morning? I'm afraid we have to cancel our last order. The customers have changed their minds again.
Okay. And could you spell your name for me, please?
Sure. That's Ann, A-N-N-E, Morey, M-O-R-I.
Thanks. I'll give Chris the message.
3:35.
Chris Matthews' office.
Hello. Is Ms. Matthews in?
No. She'll be here tomorrow morning. May I take a message?
My name is Susan Ellis. E-L-L-I-S. Would you have her call me as soon as she gets in? It's urgent.
Giving peace a chance.
This is 1 Hour, and I'm Barbara Waters. Tonight, an interview with Sandistan's Prime Minister, Simon Prokova, who earlier this week in Davos, Switzerland, signed an historic peace agreement between Sandistan and the new country of Deseret. Good evening, Mr. Prime Minister.
Good evening.
Mr. Prime Minister, the world is simply amazed and delighted that your country signed this peace agreement. What was the immediate effect of this peace agreement?
The first thing was an immediate ceasefire.
Have both parties honored the ceasefire?
Oh yes, so far.
What will happen next?
Well, now we have to begin talks to work out the details.
Are you going to relocate your citizens who live in the new country of Deseret?
That is one of the many things we have to work out. But will they want to be relocated? After all, they have built homes there. If they don't want to be relocated, can they continue to live there after our troops are no longer there to protect them?
Will the other people who live there be able to govern themselves?
That's a good question. I'm sure they want to govern themselves, but I'm not sure that that will be economically possible.
Do you think they can get help from other nations?
Absolutely. I'm sure Deseret's leaders would never have entered into these agreements without assurances of some economic aid.
Will you cooperate with the new government? After all, you once considered them rebels.
Well, we will have to move slowly, of course. But I'm sure that with time, relations will become normal.
Are your people happy about the prospect of peace?
Those who believe that we will really have peace are happy. But some people are having trouble trusting our old enemies. They don't believe we are free from war and terrorism yet.
When do you think all the details will be settled?
It's hard to say. We are all willing to work very hard in the next few weeks. I would like to say that it will take 1 or 2 months, but I really don't know. It depends on how smoothly things go.
Where are you going to hold the first negotiations?
First, we are going to Oslo, Norway. Then we are going to Paris. Maybe we won't have to go anywhere else after that.
Well, the whole world will be hoping for your success. Thank you for being with us here tonight, Mr. Prime Minister. Peace.
Trust the heart.
Melissa sat alone by the empty swimming pool, watching the sun begin to set behind the palm trees into the ocean beyond. She sat as she had done so many times, thinking of that last fight 2 weeks before. She remembered how Don had at first denied being with Teresa, but then, when she had forced him to admit it, how he had apologized and begged her for forgiveness. She frowned a little as she thought of her harsh words, and how Don, the only man she had ever really loved, had broken down and cried like a baby when she had refused to see him again. That was 2 weeks ago, and she had heard nothing from him since. She hadn't wanted to call him. She might want to admit that she had been unfair, or to tell him how much she regretted calling him a liar. She might even say that she hadn't meant to hurt him. Then she would be a liar too. She had meant every word. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps startled her. She turned, and through the gloom she thought she could make out Don's familiar figure. Was it him? Could it possibly be? The approaching figure stepped into the last patch of sunlight, and the last rays of the setting sun illuminated his dark, curly hair. He stopped, unsure of himself. "Oh, Don," she said softly, trying to control her voice. "What are you doing here?" "Melissa," he cried, "don't send me away." She sighed deeply as he ran to where she sat. He took her hands tightly in his. "My darling," he whispered, "can you ever forgive me?" She started but checked herself. "I guess I'm partly to blame, but—" He interrupted her. "That's all in the past. Let's not ever talk about it again, not ever." "Darling, promise me something." "What?" she asked cautiously. "Here, this is for you. Please, please accept it and wear it forever." He drew a small leather box from his pocket and leaned forward to give it to her. Suddenly the box fell from his grasp. He bent to pick it up, and at that moment his glasses slipped from his nose. "Damn! Now where have they gone? I can't see a thing without them," he explained. Melissa leaned over the arm of her chair to help him. There was a crunch as his foot crushed the glasses. "Oh, no! Now I've stepped on them," he exclaimed. "Why can't I do anything right? Why do I always ruin everything?" Her laughter pealed around the pool. "Oh, Don, you are incredible. Who could hate somebody like you?" I might even love you. Come here.
And they lived happily ever after.
Simon and Rachel were married recently at Walt Disney World in Florida. Their wedding was a Disney fairy tale wedding. When Simon and I met 3 years ago, I remember telling all my friends that he was my Prince Charming. Later, when we had gotten to know each other really well, I told him about it. So he started calling me Cinderella. Right after we decided to get married, we heard that we could get married at Disney World. Well, not in the park itself, but at the hotels that are part of Disney World. We couldn't resist.
Rachel looked beautiful. She was wearing a long white satin gown, and she rode to the reception in a glass carriage drawn by 6 magnificent white horses. I was waiting for her outside the hotel, along with 100 guests.
The ceremony was lovely. We had decided to write our own vows, but apart from that, we had the usual traditional service. We brought along our own minister from Cincinnati, and my maid of honor was my sister. Simon's best man was his best friend, and the ushers and bridesmaids were friends and cousins. All the men wore tuxedos, and all the women wore long gowns. I walked down the aisle to the traditional "Here Comes the Bride," but after the ceremony, Simon and I walked out to the theme of Beauty and the Beast.
The reception was amazing. It all took place in front of a 60-foot-tall replica of Cinderella's castle, complete with twinkling lights. Actors playing the roles of the fairy godmother and Cinderella's stepsisters mingled with the guests. Between eating and dancing, you know, the normal things that people do at weddings, there were 3 stage shows. For the finale, the cast performed "When You Wish Upon a Star," and fireworks erupted from the roof.
The food was wonderful, by the way, and fit into the whole Cinderella theme. For dessert, each guest got a chocolate slipper filled with mousse. When it was time for us to leave, we got back into the glass carriage and rode away. It was a beautiful day, a real fairy tale come true, and now we get to live happily ever after.
Departures.
Yoshiko Kyo has been studying English at a college in California. She'll finish the course at the end of this week. She's going back home to Tokyo on Saturday.
Streamline taxi.
I'd like a cab to San Francisco International Airport for Saturday morning, please.
Okay.
There'll be 3 of us. How much will it be?
What's your address?
I'm at 128 Cortlandt Avenue.
We charge $45 for that trip.
$45 each?
No, that's all together. What time do you want to leave?
Check-in time is 12 noon, but I don't know how long it takes to get there.
Well, we'd better pick you up at 11 o'clock, just in case traffic is heavy. Let me have your name and address.
Yes, okay. The first name is Yoshiko. That's Y-O-S-H-I-K-O. And the last name's Kyo. K-Y-O.
Kyo, 128 Cortlandt Avenue. Okay. 11 o'clock Saturday morning. Thank you.
Come in.
Hi, Mr. Berman. Do you have a minute? I just stopped in to say goodbye.
Oh, going back to Japan. When do you leave?
Tomorrow. My flight is at 2 o'clock.
Well, have a good trip back. It's been nice having you here, Yoshiko.
Thank you, Mr. Berman. Well, I just wanted to thank you and all the other teachers.
We've all enjoyed having you as a student.
I've really learned a lot. I hope to come back next year on vacation.
Send us a postcard and let us know how you're doing. And come see us if you do get back.
I'll do that.
Oh, there's the bell. Bye, Yoshiko. Have a good trip.
Bye, Mr. Berman. And thanks again for everything. Carlos, I'm glad I didn't miss you.
Hi, Yoshiko. When are you leaving?
tomorrow around 11 o'clock. I guess I won't see you again, so goodbye. It's been great knowing you.
That sounds so final. Let's keep in touch, okay?
Oh, sure. You have my address, don't you?
Yeah. And remember, if you're ever in Caracas, look me up. I'd love to see you again.
Oh, I will. You can count on that. And you do the same if you're ever in Tokyo.
Sure. Well, goodbye.
Bye, Carlos. Take care.
Yoshiko, the taxi's here. Are you ready? Do you have everything?
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Simmons. And thank you again.
Thank you, Yoshiko, for the pretty plans. Now don't forget to write as soon as you get home, just to let us know that you got there safe and sound.
Okay. Or maybe I'll call when the long-distance rates are low. The time difference is a mess, but I'll make sure I don't call in the middle of the night.
You're so sweet, Yoshiko. Goodbye now. You'd better not keep the taxi waiting. Travel safely. Bye.
Bye. Take care. Say goodbye to Mr. Simmons for me. Bye.